You know the feeling, don't you? That piercing, uncomfortable sensation, like you're an outsider in a world not made for you, as if everyone else received a detailed instruction manual for this life, and yours simply got lost somewhere along the way. You don't just observe, you see through. You see conversations unfold like meticulously rehearsed performances. Behind every loud laugh, you sense a hidden despair. Behind overt confidence, a chilling fear. And behind the mask of social success, a bottomless, aching loneliness. And what's most agonizing is that this slowly but surely makes you believe you are fundamentally broken. But let me tell you, that's not true, not a single word of it. What if I told you that Carl Jung, the profound thinker, discovered something incredible in people like you? Something so exceptional, so rare, that most people will live their entire lives without ever encountering anyone who carries this unique spark. This isn't just a type of consciousness, it's a depth of perception capable of shaking the very foundations of the world others inhabit. You are on the verge of discovering why your distinctness isn't a flaw or a defect, but rather a unique frequency, your own unparalleled resonance. And once you truly understand what you're dealing with, everything, your overwhelming exhaustion, your profound isolation, your aversion to all superficiality, will finally acquire its true, deep meaning. But before we delve into the first sign, I want you to realize something. What you are about to hear may deeply shake you, because once you see these hidden patterns, you won't be able to unsee them. Once you truly understand what makes you rare, you won't be able to pretend to be ordinary anymore. Are you ready to face this truth? Carl Jung called it dangerous perception, and if you possess it, you already suspect why. You don't just look at people, you see right through them as if they were transparent. Their words may sound convincing, but their micro-expressions scream something entirely different. Their stories paint a picture of success and well-being, yet their inner energy radiates profound despair. You perceive the unspoken far louder than the spoken. This is the first sign. You process reality at such an incredible depth that it would break most people's spirits. Recall your last conversation. While the person enthusiastically spoke about their promotion, you saw not just career advancement, but the heartbreaking compromise they had to make for it. While they boasted about their relationships, you sensed the aching loneliness they seemed to be drowning in. You didn't ask for this ability, and you can't simply switch it off. And this is what slowly yet relentlessly drains you from within. Carl Jung, the insightful thinker, grasped a profound truth. When you begin to see so much, so piercingly clear, you involuntarily transform into a living, breathing mirror. And mirrors, they inspire genuine horror in those who have spent their lives fleeing their own reflection. You've undoubtedly felt that thick, almost palpable tension that fills a space the moment you arrive. No, it's not your imagination. It's their own unconscious, as if pierced by light, that unmistakably recognizes you see their shadow. Those very parts of their soul buried so deeply that they've convinced themselves of their complete absence. Your mere presence without a single word becomes a silent yet persistent question they are desperately unprepared to answer. Why? Why do you still keep pretending? And instead of bravely facing this unbearable question, they prefer to shift responsibility, turning you into the source of all their problems. Their words fly like stones. You're too serious. You always complicate everything, overanalyze. Can't you just relax and be like everyone else? But you cannot be normal. Because for you, normal means blindly accepting illusion as truth, skimming the surface while ignoring the depths. Normal means being complicit in a mass collective self-deception. And most terrifyingly, normal means betraying that precious gift, that unique ability that makes you, you, and no one else. Your so-called dangerous perception isn't just a characteristic. It reveals something fundamental, something far deeper about the very essence of your nature. Something that explains why any superficial, fleeting connections feel not like intimacy, but like an agonizing hunger for your yearning soul. This brings us to the second sign, one that might prove to be the sharpest, most piercing of them all. You experience a profound aversion to superficiality. Small talk is genuine psychological torture for you. Casual, fleeting acquaintances leave you feeling even lonelier than complete solitude. You desperately crave conversations that bypass empty chatter about the weather and dive directly into the depths of the soul. You seek connections where masks are not just optional, they become absolutely impossible. Carl Jung, the profound thinker, insightfully noted this characteristic. He stated, "Rare personality types live in constant existential tension. You cannot fully participate in the collective unconscious, yet you cannot escape it either. You are trapped between worlds, too awake to sleep, too human to transcend." But there's also a darker underside, rarely spoken of. The bottomless depth you carry within you also becomes the reason for your isolation. Because while you ache with an agonizing hunger for true, genuine connection, most people are perfectly content with their emotional fast food. They crave only comfort, not ruthless truth. They seek approval, not uncomfortable growth. They prefer to remain in a cozy, yet limited, unconscious state. And when you are incapable or unwilling to give them this, they begin to see you as a threat to their fragile world. Recall how many valuable connections have ended, not because of your mistakes or transgressions, but because your soul could no longer pretend. You couldn't force out false laughter at empty jokes. You couldn't participate in meaningless gossip. You could never discuss trivialities like the weather when your soul was screaming, demanding answers to the deepest questions. Why are we here? This isn't arrogance nor a whim. It's the purest survival instinct. For your unique sensitivity, superficial interaction isn't just boredom. It's like an energy leak, literally draining your life force. But you've probably noticed something else, something far more unsettling, an inexplicable sensation that arises when you are among people. This isn't ordinary social fatigue. It's an exhaustion that penetrates the very core of your being. It's the feeling as if you've taken on others' unbearable burdens. And it's not an illusion. That's precisely what it is. It is here in understanding this phenomenon that Jung's insights acquire an almost mystical, supernatural power. Now, let's venture into deeper, sometimes unsettling corners. The third sign, you absorb everything, not just their thoughts or fleeting observations. You soak up everything. The unexpressed rage they hide beneath a mask of calm, the suppressed grief that constricts their hearts, the forbidden desires they themselves have disavowed. You are not merely an observer. You are a true emotional alchemist, unconsciously processing all the psychological debris of those around you. Jung gave this phenomenon a name, participation mystique. It's a state where individual boundaries blur, dissolve, and you become one with the boundless collective unconscious. For most people, this is a rare phenomenon. For you, it's a constant reality. That depression that washes over you from nowhere is often not yours. That anxiety, an icy hoop constricting your chest. Perhaps you absorbed it from a colleague sitting nearby. This inexplicable burning rage might just be the unexpressed anger of everyone you encountered today. This is why solitude is so vitally necessary for you, not because you are antisocial or reclusive, but because you desperately need to sort out what is yours and what belongs to others. You need this healing silence to hear the whisper of your own thoughts again. This saving solitude, to remember who you truly are beneath all the cacophony of others' psychic noises. But here it is, the cruel and bitter truth. This absorption can turn into an addiction, for when you drown in an ocean of others' emotions, you don't have to face your own emptiness. When you endlessly solve everyone's problems, you masterfully avoid confronting your own. When you become everyone's advisor, healer, the one they invariably come to for help, you bypass your own inner work. And so it continues until one day you wake up and realize you intimately, in mind detail, know everyone's soul, but your own soul is a complete stranger to you. That's when the real battle begins. Not with the external world, not with others, but with yourself. The fourth sign is a deep, piercing wound. You wage an invisible but fierce war within yourself, a battle between who you truly are and the image the world demands of you. Carl Jung insightfully observed that people like you live with a fundamental, agonizing split. Your true self, too bright, too intense, is not meant for the ordinary world. This is why you fragment into pieces. You masterfully play the role of a professional, then a sociable person, then a caring family member. All of these are meticulously crafted, perfected performances. Each one is incredibly draining, and none of them are the real you. Every mask you wear is a quiet yet profound betrayal. Whenever you dim your inner power, your true intensity, you betray your very nature. Every moment you pretend to be normal, you only fuel the false belief that your authentic essence is unacceptable to this world. This internal split generates symptoms that baffle even the most experienced doctors. Chronic, overwhelming fatigue that no amount of sleep can heal, because your soul is exhausted by this never-ending performance. Sudden, causeless anxiety attacks that arise as if from nowhere. This is your authentic self desperately crying out for freedom. Depression, descending like a thick, suffocating fog. The bitterness of living as a stranger to yourself. You are not suffering from a mental disorder. You are spiritually suffocating, deprived of the air you could be. This is what Jung understood deeply, what you so diligently hide, your fierce intensity, your bottomless depth, your unique, rare way of seeing the world, is precisely what this world desperately needs. Every breakthrough in human consciousness, every insight that changed the course of history, was born from the mind of someone who dared to see things differently. Every revolution began in the heart of someone who was too sensitive, too acutely felt injustice to simply accept the status quo. This is you. This is your true role. But you cannot play it as long as you remain fragmented, as long as you are tearing yourself apart. The exhaustion you experience maintaining these fragments, these false selves, is simply unbearable. Your body knows this. Your soul knows this. And deep inside, you know it too. But something else happens, something almost mystical. Even when you fragment yourself, trying to fit in, your true frequency continues to send a powerful signal, and there are others who can hear it. This next sign is the very area where Jung's work enters territory that science still cannot fully explain. This brings us, perhaps, to the most mysterious sign. You instantly, unmistakably recognize your own kind. It defies logic. You can meet anyone, anywhere, anytime, and within seconds, you just know. It's a frequency match, a recognition of souls. The feeling, oh, there you are, I've been looking for you for so long. Jung called it synchronicity, but it's something much deeper. It's as if you have a secret antenna inside, tuned only to unique signals, and when you meet someone vibrating on your wavelength, your entire being lights up with a bright, recognizable glow. Such connections are a priceless rarity. Perhaps in your entire life you've been fortunate enough to experience one or two, or perhaps you are still on your journey, still searching. But when they arrive, they become undeniable proof of a truth that has always lived in your heart, but never found confirmation. You are not alone, you are not crazy, you are not too much. You are simply rare. and rare always recognizes rare. However, this gift also has its shadow side. Once you've experienced genuine recognition, you discover that everything else feels like agonizing emptiness and insatiable hunger. Once you are truly seen, invisibility transforms into unbearable agony. Your internal frequency will no longer be able or willing to tolerate noise and static. This is why you might subconsciously sabotage relationships that demand you dim your inner light, become less than you are. This is why you will choose solitude over falsehood and pretense. This is why there's no turning back once you've experienced that genuine connection. Your soul now knows the true price and has its unyielding standards. These standards are merely an echo of something far grander. They are inextricably linked to the very purpose that has burned deeply within you since you first realized its existence. But this purpose is something entirely different from what you're accustomed to thinking about it. It is vaster, more mysterious, and far more significant than anything you've ever been told about finding your calling. The sixth sign reveals its full essence. You carry a purpose too vast for a single human life. It's not just a career, not a set of achievements. It's a purpose, something that burns in your bones with an unquenchable fire, pulling you from sleep at 3 a.m. with a flood of thoughts and insights so grand that your mind can barely cope with processing them. This feeling is less a choice and more an inevitable cosmic assignment. Carl Jung perfectly understood this burden. He asserted that individuated personalities, those who have managed to embrace their shadow and find their true self, bear a special responsibility. They see what needs healing in the collective consciousness. They sense what yearns to be expressed. They know precisely what must be created. But herein lies a deep paradox, the very incredible sensitivity that allows you to feel this calling, this purpose, simultaneously makes its fulfillment almost impossible. For to truly embody what you came into this world for, you would have to become completely, absolutely yourself, without reservation. To truly be yourself in this world almost always feels like social suicide. Your destiny doesn't promise comfort. It isn't measured by conventional standards of success. Your mission is to become a living bridge between worlds, to utter words that others cannot or dare not speak. You are called to heal what others don't even suspect is wounded. This is why nothing ever seems enough for you. This is why even the most brilliant victories leave an oppressive emptiness in your soul. You didn't come here to merely succeed. You are here to transform reality, to awaken dormant forces, to become the midwife of an entirely new way of being. But how can you accomplish this if you're hiding in the shadows? This is where most people stumble. They hear the call but fear the price they'd have to pay. They sense their true purpose but retreat from its ruthless demands. They know they are made for something immeasurably greater, yet they prefer cozy security. The question is, will you do the same? For there is one final and most crucial sign that will determine whether you accept this cosmic assignment or spend your entire life wondering what could have been. The seventh and deepest of all, your greatest wound is your greatest gift. Carl Jung, the profound thinker, uncovered an astonishing truth. Rare personality types often carry what he called a sacred wound, the deepest psychic damage that, against all odds, becomes an inexhaustible source of their strength. Perhaps you were that child whose heart felt the world too keenly, too deeply, the one who saw through meticulously constructed family facades, perceiving their fragility, the one who simply didn't dare pretend everything was okay when, in reality, it was far from it. That very hypersensitivity, which once made you a vulnerable target for misunderstanding and pain, has now become your greatest strength. It is precisely what allows you to perceive the subtlest nuances, to see and feel what remains hidden from most eyes. and the profound isolation you had to endure didn't break you. On the contrary, it compelled you to build an entire world within yourself, so rich, complex, and self-sufficient that it became your unshakable foundation. Your inability to fit into conventional norms, to be like everyone else, became not a curse, but a gift. It preserved your true, authentic essence in a world that so generously rewards only conformity and adaptability. Your wound, your unique experience, taught you to see in pitch darkness, to discern even the faintest glimmers of hope. And now you are precisely the one capable of becoming a beacon, a guide for others, helping them navigate through their own impenetrable gloom. This is the greatest alchemical truth revealed by Jung. What seems to break us actually only creates cracks through which light can enter. What condemns us to solitude makes us inimitable, unique. What wounds us to the core awakens our true strength and awareness. But here's what, unfortunately, remains an unsolved mystery for most people. To accept this wound doesn't mean erasing it completely. It means honoring it as your teacher, your initiator, your sacred mark that proclaims, "I survived what was meant to destroy me, and now I am a formidable weapon against any lie." This paradoxical gift wound makes you a natural healer, not because you are flawless, but because you are true, not because you transcended pain, but because you alchemically transformed it into the pure gold of wisdom. So we've arrived at the moment of a decisive choice. You've recognized the signs, felt the relief of finally being understood, but recognition is only the first step, not complete transformation. You may know you are rare and still live your life hiding your uniqueness, pretending to be ordinary. As Jung aptly noted, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But for rare personality types, this isn't just a privilege. It's a sacred responsibility. Because the world doesn't need another person who perfectly fits into molds. It craves you in all your complex, tumultuous, too brilliant glory. The path ahead will be thorny. People will resist your true self. Some will leave your circle. The world will test your devotion to authenticity time and again, presenting thousands of obstacles. And then something else will happen, something wonderful. Those very people with whom you are meant to journey will find you. Work meant only for your hands will unfold. The true life, the one that languished beneath the veil of all your masks, will finally break free. Your subtle sensitivity is not a flaw, it's a powerful superpower. Your depth and intensity are not too much, they are precisely what the world craves. Your unique inability to fit into conventional norms is not a deficiency, but your invaluable contribution. Are you ready to embrace this revelation? You are not here by whim of fate. You are here because you have matured to stop hiding in the shadows, matured to start breathing fully, to be yourself without reservation. These are not just words. This is your personal invitation into the circle of rare souls, those who refuse to extinguish their inner light. Those who choose bottomless depth instead of a dull surface, burning truth instead of cozy self-deception, shining authenticity instead of fleeting approval. Your incredible journey toward realizing your own rare nature is only just gaining momentum. Your uniqueness, your rarity, requires constant confirmation. You are not alone, you are not crazy, you are not too much in this world. You need a community where words find true meaning, where you are understood without explanation. Remember this forever. In a world obsessed with empty facades, your authenticity is not just personal liberation. It is life-giving medicine for an exhausted world that is suffocating without sincerity. And we desperately need you, exactly as you are, without embellishment, without compromise. Welcome to your true life, the one that pulsates at the very heart of your being. Welcome to your own frequency, to the unique resonance of your soul, to the vibration that belongs only to you. Welcome home, to where you were always meant to be, where peace and full acceptance reign. Remember this forever. Breathe deeply and feel. You were not born to simply fit in with others' frames or to meet anyone's expectations. On the contrary, your true purpose is to shine, to be unique, to stand out from the crowd, to be a beacon of your own uniqueness. And now, finally, you realize why.